we can get started. It'll take us a minute to kind of lay down talk about the agenda, and then we'll sort of do a round of introduction. So if people are joining as we go, that's great.
Great. Gretchen, Laura, don't forget to hit record.
Oh yeah, it's recording.
Oh,
We
it
are
is.
recording, yes.
Great.
Thank you for the reminder. Awesome. So thanks everyone for joining us for this Arts2Work info session. We are both East Coast and West Coast, so this is great. And I'm glad we could still make this happen, despite the circumstances. So thanks for being with us. We're going to spend some time today, just so that we'll do introductions at the very beginning of the call. We'll do a brief overview of PhillyCAM and kind of why we're partnering with the Alliance on this initiative. And then we'll talk specifically about the application and the logistics for the summer and the fall Arts2Work program. And there'll be time kind of at the end for questions. So feel free, as things come up, you can kind of put them in the chat so we can keep an eye on questions people have. We'll try to keep everybody muted throughout the call, just in case, we all have background things going on in our respective spots. So my name is Laura Deutsch. I'm the Education Director here at PhillyCAM, and my pronouns are she and her. And speaking to you all from South Philly. And I'll pass it to Ariel to kind of set up our intros.
Hey everyone, so glad you're here. So my name is Ariel. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the youth media coordinator at PhillyCAM. And so we want to kind of get a gauge of how everyone's doing during this time. So the question that we're going to kind of put out to everyone is, how are you staying creative during these challenging times? And I can kind of model it. So if you can say your name, your pronoun. I'm actually in West Philly right now. So yeah, shout out where you're calling from. And a way that I'm staying creative during this time is I was watching my partner's kid today, and we made rainbows to put in the window. Because as you guys all know, we're all kind of trapped inside of our houses. So I think it's something that started in Italy and Spain. Kids were putting different drawings up in the windows to kind of say hello to neighbors, or to kind of like, lift people's spirits a little bit. So we had some fun making some rainbows today. I'm going to pass it to Wendy.
Thanks so much, Ariel. I'm Wendy Levy, she, her pronouns, and I'm the executive director of the Alliance, who is kind of the umbrella organization for Arts2Work. And I'm staying creative by, how am I staying creative? Every day at 5 o'clock, my wife and I are taking a walk and with the dog, and for an hour. And during some of that walk, we kind of do this meditation, Zen walking, where we don't talk to each other and just let ideas and just let loose with the universe. And I end up coming back home often from those walks and free writing for a while. And because I spend most of my time writing grants and reports and professional papers, I feel like I'm being some of my most creative. So it's a nice practice that we've added to our life there.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Wendy. I'm going to pass it to, I just see JCM. So if you could just tell us your name, your pronouns, and share with us how you're staying creative during this time.
Yeah, so it's Karla. She, her, hers, and I'm in West Philadelphia as well. Yeah, I guess you could say the way I'm staying creative right now, especially because I'm working from home, I would say it's doing my hair. I know that may sound like a little odd, but it's just something I enjoy doing. And I mean, I don't have a lot of hair, but I like to change up, like maybe like do like finger curls, or also maybe like looking at like different like ways to like style my hair, and then maybe like wearing like wigs as well, and like thinking of like different styles. I think that just kind of helps with like my creative flow and just kind of think outside the box this time. Actually today I was literally just thinking I want to dye my hair blue, so it just kind of helps me just like stay on top of my game, and just especially since I'm working from a very confined space, I have a studio, just I think it just kind of helps, you know, thinking outside the box just helps me stay as creative as possible and not feel so insulated all the time.
That's awesome. I think you look great with blue hair. You should do it. Now's the time. Try it out.
Right?
You know?
That's what I was thinking.
I'm going to pass it to Alex.
Hey, can you all hear me? Okay. So my name's Alex Martre, he, him. I'm the director of Big Picture Alliance. We teach filmmaking to young people across Philadelphia. I'm trying to stay creative with our youth, in particular our Teen Media Collective, which is our group of alumni that run their own media collective, by doing virtual meetings on Fridays. We found it's a really great way to keep all of us connected and motivated during this pretty uncertain time. And this group is in pre-production on 2 films. So as sort of devastating as it is to not know, you know, when these are going to get done, it's led to a lot of like resourceful creativity around like, you know, how do we workshop the scripts more? How do we storyboard more? How do we draw? How do we you possibly use social media, like through making shorter videos that capture what we're going through in our day-to-day lives. So it's been really helpful for myself and for our group to just kind of stay motivated and keep the creative flow going. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Thanks, Alex. I'm going to pass it to Patrick.
Hello, everyone. My name is Patrick Kilgallen, and I'm trying to stay motivated by, hold on, the interpreter is waiting for the screen to unfreeze. I'm joining a group, and right now, it's a very different group, how it looks now. You know, we're a little bit behind. The screens are freezing, guys, so I'm just trying to catch you up here. It's a mixed group of hearing and deaf individuals. And we borrow ideas. We have a name. It is Deaf. Oh, spell it again for me, please. Deaf. Deaf Radio. It's called Deaf Radio. So we're hoping to set up a deaf production. The audio is much better than the video. The screen is frozen. But we're trying to get the word out so that more people can join.
Okay.
I apologize.
No, it's fine. Thank you so much. We appreciate you so much. Thanks, Patrick. Sounds awesome. All right, I'm going to pass it on to Gretchen.
Hey, so my name is Gretchen. I work at PhillyCAM. I go by she, her pronouns. And that's so cool that you mentioned the rainbow thing, Ariel, because I saw a parent mentioning that on my little neighborhood Facebook group, and they wanted to go out with their kids and walk around the neighborhood and spot rainbows. So maybe I'm gonna add. I thought about it and then I didn't do it yesterday, but I'm gonna put a rainbow in the window. And I haven't done anything creative today yet, but yesterday I went out because it was really nice and picked a whole bunch of fruit tree branches that were starting to bloom and brought them in my house. So that's what I did yesterday.
Cool, that's a start.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass it to Christine. Christine, can you hear us? I think Christine's video is stalling, so I'll give them a second. Can I pass it to Ebony?
Hello.
Hey, Ebony.
Hi. So we're just talking about how we're staying motivated during all
Yeah,
this.
how are you staying creative during this time? And if you can say your name and pronouns as well, that would be awesome.
As she, her. It's been kind of tough for me because my brother isn't doing well. He doesn't have corona, but he has another medical condition going on right now. So it's been tough the last few days after just trying to get to stores to get things. So I haven't had the chance to be in a creative space yet. But when I do, I plan to do some writing and some editing and try to catch up on some things. But yeah, I just haven't had the chance to be in that space right now. So
yeah, sorry to hear that. I'm glad you're here with us though.
mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pass it to Christine. Can you hear us now, Christine? Christine, can you hear us? Okay. All right, I'm gonna try, Quiche, can you hear us? Quiche, can you hear me? I'm gonna pass it to you. Hey, love to see that face.
Hey, wait, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I don't know why I'm nervous. Okay. My name is Quiche. My pronouns are she, her, and they. And the way that I've been staying creative is, all right, so literally there was like talent shows that's happening on Instagram Live, and it's like crazy because it's like, okay, yeah. So yeah, I'm doing talent shows on Instagram Live, writing as always, and yeah.
Great. I want to tune into I didn't even know that was happening. See, you're the plug.
Yeah.
No, you should.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you.
I want it too. I really want to see a talent show on Instagram Live.
It's crazy. Like, people are getting so creative.
Quiche, could you share a link like in the chat box here? Maybe if you know where we could go to check it out.
Yeah.
Thanks, Quiche. I'm gonna.
Ariel, you're muted for some reason. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna try. I can't see the person's name, so it's just 1-2-1-2-6-7-8-9-9-1-1-2-6.
Let's see.
Hello?
Should we try the next caller, come back to him? Okay. Oops. Okay. Ariel,
You're muted again, Ariel.
Ariel.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
All right, I think I'm gonna, if anybody else wants to share, I can't see people's names. Is there anybody else on the call that wants to share with us how they're staying creative during this time? Last call. Hello? All right, cool. I'm gonna pass it back to Laura.
Okay, great. So yeah, just wanted to kind of, for folks who may be new to PhillyCAM, you know, give you a really sort of brief snapshot of what we are and what we do. So you sort of understand how we're connected to Arts2Work, but are also just thinking about us as a resource beyond this program, but how we work with people in the city, really from ages 14 and above, in different ways to make and share media. So we're a nonprofit community media center. Welcome, welcome. I'm glad some people are calling in or probably recalling back. Is anyone that just joined the call want to introduce themselves who kind of missed that first round? I see Christine, I see you have audio now. If not, we'll kind of keep going, and feel free to put a message in the chat if you're on video, or yeah, at the end we can kind of like reconnect with you. So I'm gonna, awesome. Okay, great. So we're located on 7th Street between Randstead and Chestnut, and we're really a learning community. So we operate the cable television channels on Comcast and Verizon. We have a low power FM radio station, and we also stream a lot of our content directly on our website and also through Facebook streaming and YouTube and online platforms like Mixcloud as well. So there are lots of ways to access the content that we produce. And you know what our organization really does is support people in all stages of production. So we offer classes in everything from pre-production to field production, TV studio, audio production, and supporting people to make their own radio content as well. So the Arts2Work program, while it's kind of targeted for 18 to 24, our youth program really reaches from 14 to 21, and our kind of adult program is really 18 and above. So anybody that's over 18 can enroll in our generally evening classes, or just kind of join as a member at any age and be part of our community and connect to other creative folks through our member engagement events, in-person events, through different opportunities we have online for people to kind of support each other in their production. So following kind of this call, we'll be sending out a list of resources, and I'll include on that some links about what PhillyCAM is, kind of how to get, you know, onboarded if you're interested beyond Arts2Work and just joining as a member or learning more about the opportunities that we offer. So that was just kind of a really brief snapshot. I can kind of come back to that at the end in terms of how we're hoping that this program connects, you know, the Arts2Work participants with our PhillyCAM members, and how PhillyCAM is really connected to professional development opportunities within Philadelphia, you know, and through national networks. So I think I'll toss it to Ariel, because I think one thing that is exciting is that this is an opportunity to bridge like our youth media program with our like adult learning. And so I wanted her to share a little bit about, if you are in that 14 to 21 range, ways you could tap in and just know what's being produced currently by the young people at PhillyCAM. So.
Yeah, thanks, Laura. Yeah, our youth program really focuses on making media that matters. And I think just like across the board, for a number of years, we've been really kind of serving students and giving them these opportunities to kind of really tell their stories and to tell their stories in a really creative way. But I think the thing that really excites me about Arts2Work is that now they're going to have a pathway to really kind of illustrate the skills that that students have learned in our space. And so I'm thinking that this program is really going to kind of help folks, really be able to kind of build their creative confidence, right? So you come to PhillyCAM, if you're familiar, Laura just gave you a little brief overview, but if you come into our space, we're teaching students editing skills, we're teaching students photography skills, and these are all things that directly connect to our working economy right now. And so finally now with Arts2Work, we're gonna be able to let students show their worth really through their creativity. And so it's really, really exciting. I'm gonna pass it to Wendy now to kind of give us a bit more information about Arts2Work.
Thanks so much, Ariel. I'm so thrilled that we've gotten to this point, and so sorry that we weren't able to gather together in Philadelphia like we had planned. But this is the next best thing. And for anyone on the call who is interested in participating in Arts2Work Philly at PhillyCAM, I just wanted to provide a kind of overview of what Arts2Work is nationally, so you kind of know what you're getting, what you're participating in, because we're very, very excited about the potential of this program to really be a paradigm shift in the media industry in this country. The Alliance for Media, Arts, and Culture is a 40-year-old organization that's been tending to the field for that long. And our members are like PhillyCAM, the PhillyCAMs of the whole country, like in different cities, there are members, but also Sundance is a member and the Kennedy Center is a member. And so we, as an individual artists, are members. So we're happy and proud to represent many sectors of our field as we develop programs that can help grow the field and do the kind of work that rises up artists in the culture, because arts are always the first thing to get cut whenever there's a financial shortage. And we know very well that especially in crises like we're in right now with coronavirus, this is when artists go to work. And the artists are going to be the catalyst and the engine for healing from all of this, because of the way we work in community and the way we help build back the spirit of all of our communities across the country. So long story short, we started looking a couple of years ago at the way other sectors train young people in their industries. And we discovered registered apprenticeship, which is like if you want to be a construction worker in this country, or you want to work in manufacturing or the trades or healthcare, you can get paid to learn on the job. And then when you finish with your apprenticeship, you get a union job for the rest of your life. And the field construction, they base their whole industry on that. And I thought, the media industry is based on a culture of unpaid or low paid internships, where you kind of spend a little time at a company, nobody really pays you. There's no commitment by the employer to really help you rise up through the company and be able to tell the stories that you want to tell. So we decided to make the very first registered apprenticeship program in media arts. And it includes creative technologies and gaming and all sorts of digital media. So we worked really hard the last couple of years. We got it approved by the United States Department of Labor and the state of Pennsylvania. And so Arts2Work in Philly, this program that you'll learn a little bit more about on this call, is the very first pre-apprenticeship program in the country for multimedia producers and digital video editors. And we are working now, like PhillyCAM has been doing training, amazing training like this for many years. They've been a member of the Alliance and doing extraordinary work. The gap that Arts2Work is trying to fill is convincing and explaining to all the employers the importance of hiring and mentoring the next generation of storytellers at their place. And so part of your pre-apprenticeship program, if you're accepted into this particular one, is learning at PhillyCAM, really getting state-of-the-art skills, developing your voice and your technical knowledge as a producer or editor, and then moving into a variety of workspaces to really see what's out there. And Arts2Work helps provide funding for that program, and we provide support to the companies so that they are able to create the conditions at work where visionary young producers can thrive. You know, because even when I was back your ages and looking for a film job, I couldn't find one. And even after I had a film at Sundance, I waited tables for 20 years. And luckily, I like the restaurant business, but y'all shouldn't have to go through that. because we're in a digital culture now. Every company needs you and would benefit by you being there. And so just know this is a big deal for us. And we are so grateful to PhillyCAM for providing incredible training and support. And we, in turn, will provide the support that can engage Philadelphia employers and help create new job opportunities for everyone. And who do I kick it back to?
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Wendy. We're going to pass it to Laura now. She's going to give us maybe some logistics about summer.
Sure. Awesome. Thanks, Wendy. Yeah, so this summer, the application is now live. It's basically, there's kind of two parts to what Arts2Work is looking like at PhillyCAM. And so there'll be an 8-week training program this summer from June 22nd to August 17th. And then in the fall, there'll be worksite placement. So once you go through the training, you'll actually be connected to a worksite and you'll have a mentor there and we'll work on a project that will look like probably 2 days a week at your worksite. And then one additional day, we're thinking like Fridays at PhillyCAM for continued professional development support. So in the summertime, it will look kind of like a series of modules is how we're thinking about it. So there'll be project-based activities that help you build skills in visual storytelling, cinematography, interviewing, some narrative filmmaking, audio production, and really like doing some work to think about how to work with clients and communities, right? So how do you put these skills, if you're working with an organization who wants you to create content for social media, how are you thinking about applying kind of these tools in different work environments? So, it won't be a super deep dive into any kind of one track, but we're hoping to give a really well-rounded approach and really focus on, the visual story, the storytelling, because if you learn how to work with people and tell stories, you can do that across different mediums. And as the technology changes, you're not tied to learning a particular camera, but you're really thinking about how you can be adaptive and kind of apply the knowledge as the technology changes. So what else did I want to add about that? So yeah, we're able to take 7 participants, and this is really, tied to the funding of this particular pilot program. So that cohort, we're really hoping will work together as like a creative, support community, almost like a production company. Although people will go to different job sites, we really kind of want to build a team that works well together and, has different skills, because as we all know, media making is very collaborative. And so this is a way to start to build that and put that into practice. Let's see. Ariel, do you want to talk about the application?
Yeah.
We'll just open it up, to questions.
Yeah, sure. As Laura mentioned, there's only 7 trainees for the program. And so we want you to be really, really intentional about your applications. If you have work that we would love to see the work that you've created. I'm gonna just do a screen share really quickly to kind of let you guys look at the application if you haven't seen it already. Give me 1 second.
Unmute yourself again, Ariel.
All right.
Oh,
I don't know why I keep muting myself. Like I have a story to tell.
Right, clearly.
What is going on? So this is the Arts2Work application. And when we finish the call, we'll send out an email as well that has a link to it. And it's pretty straightforward. Again, I think that if you guys really take your time, or anyone else that is going to be applying, really take your time and be really thoughtful about the application. That's really what we want. So if you have links to your work, if there's a question, there's one of the questions, I don't think I can click on it. I think it's on the next page, but there's a question about, like, why are you interested in the program? And what type of media do you want to create? We really want to hear what type of media you're interested in. And I think this also helps us in terms of thinking about the different work sites that we can place you with as well, right? Because we want you to get the best experience out of this apprenticeship program. And for me, I feel like that comes from not only finding really great organizations to match you guys with, but also being able to think about the skills that you already have and how can we maximize those in that short amount of like really hardcore training time that we have, right? Because I really think that you don't have to be really great at everything when it comes to media making, but if you are kind of clued in to the skills that you really have already and that you know what you're really good at, those are the things that we really want to maximize on at your placements as well. Yeah, let me stop sharing my screen. Give me 1 second. I'm not the best at Zoom.
You're doing great.
What do I do? Oh, stop share. There we go.
Share.
Hey.
Oh, Patrick has a question. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Patrick?
Oh, Raina, I think you're muted.
Yeah.
I'll mute you. Oh. There we go.
Okay, Patrick, you had a question.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a requirement on here for BEPH? Do you know if they're flexible to, for like a deaf person, because it's really hard for a deaf person to, the screen is freezing, just so you know.
Yeah, we'll wait. Rena, were you able to see that?
No, I don't have the rest of that. Is everybody else's screens freezing too, or is it just mine?
I think it must be just your internet connection.
Yeah.
But maybe you can ask him to write it in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
If you hit the chat button, he can type in his question.
Let me send.
Do you guys know what BPE, that the 4-letter acronym Patrick mentioned is? BPH?
It might be more than that. This is the interpreter. That it might be because my screen froze. I only got part of it.
Right.
So I was thinking it was an acronym.
Got it. It seemed that way. Did you ask him to use the chat?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, great.
I did too. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. I'm really curious, while we're waiting for Patrick's question to come through, if any of the folks on call who are thinking about applying, I asked one question, where do you guys want to work? If there are companies or organizations in town that you've been like, oh, I'd love to get a job there, we really want to know, because we can go and talk to them and pitch the program and have them develop projects that, to help get you in the door there. So please do let us know where you might want to work. And now Patrick's question. I'd like to request flexibility for deaf youths who are not members of PhillyCAM. Oh, sure, right? Yes, perfect.
Yeah, so membership, being an active member of PhillyCAM is not a requirement to apply. The 7 selected participants will get a membership. So the idea is after the training, they'll have a year of membership so they can continue to use the equipment and the facilities to work, independently on their projects. But we're hoping that this is an opportunity for us to put together, a diverse group that represents both PhillyCAM members and also organizations that we've been aligned with. And also kind of to Wendy's point, like Patrick, from the perspective of Liberty Resources, if Liberty Resources was an organization that could actively support a pre-apprentice, then there's a direct pipeline, right? And then it makes it easier to support that deaf trainee if you have kind of a media project in mind that they could support with organizationally, if that makes sense.
And I think also too, Patrick, if you are thinking about particular students that are going to apply and could potentially work with Liberty Resources, it would be really great to know that, because then we can also kind of start to think about that in terms of the curriculum and the skills that they're learning as well, so that they really are hitting and needing the skills that you guys would need there. Looks like my internet's unstable at Liberty Resources.
Yeah. Wendy, I'm curious if you could talk a little bit about kind of the mentorship expectation that the job sites will have and what that could look like and how it might be different than how other people have experienced an internship or like a volunteer placement opportunity.
Yes, absolutely. We believe wholeheartedly in the concept of mentorship. And that's not a lot of apprenticeship programs and other kinds of internship programs talk about job shadowing, where you're just kind of shadowing, standing behind somebody and watching what they do. And we believe in for Arts2Work, mentorship is a really important part of things. So we will work with all the employers that this places where you will go to work to train their supervisory staff on what good mentorship really is. And that means not only helping you do a good job at their workplace, but also letting folks know about what is life in the industry like? What are the opportunities outside this workplace? Maybe outside Philadelphia, maybe if you want to go into business for yourself, really being able to help you with your whole sense of identity in the field, as well as succeeding at work. And the other thing that Arts2Work also provides, once you're an apprentice, is if you have, we're very sensitive about the kind of how do I say this correctly? Oscars So White came from something. The predominant number of media companies are owned by white men. And we know that many of them are very eager to participate, to be able to diversify their workplaces and offer opportunities to others. But sometimes it's really hard to be yourself in a situation where you're trying to show how good you can be. So we will provide mentors who are Black, brown, Asian, disabled, women, so you can have a work mentor and an Arts2Work mentor that you meet with one-on-one on the Zoom, or if they're in Philadelphia, you can meet for coffee. So you have someone that's going to look at your work and your portfolio, have conversations about what it's really like to try to be a director, a producer, an editor, share some of their work with you, tell you stories about what it's like to try to be a working professional media maker in some way, and introduce you as you progress, introduce you to folks who can help open the next door for you. And so we really, really value this idea of bringing mentorship into our industry in a whole new way. And we'll ask you for your feedback on your mentor as well, because we want to make sure that we're training the next generation of mentors. Because we need, just like Spike Lee says, if you're not mentoring, you're not doing your job. And we all have to learn to do it a little bit better. And so we're looking for a lot of back and forth and transparency between you, the trainee, and your mentors to be able to create an environment where everybody's growing and everybody's learning. I feel like
Great.
I talk too much.
No, that's great.
So
Yeah,
I apologize.
Other people that are either on the call or through video does anyone have any questions? Feel free to put it in the chat or just give a wave if you're on camera or speak up. Yes, Karla, I see you, and then we'll go to Quiche. Okay.
Yeah, so I already posted in the chat, and I think someone just said, Wendy, you just said to email you. Like I already submitted it a couple of days ago, my application, but I should have just waited until today, but I didn't put the places that I would like to work because there are definitely some areas I'm interested in. So just email you the areas, or should I resubmit? What should I do?
Yeah, no, certainly you can email me or email folks you know at PhillyCAM, and we'll target those places to be able to, we can't make any promises at this point, but we will hopefully try to bring them into the Arts2Work family. Can you share a little bit, any names now with places that you've been thinking about?
I'll just email.
Okay, all right, cool.
And then, like one thing is like I'm really interested in doing is like marketing, but developing like video marketing and creating like graphic design. So I just want to be sure like if I was to pinpoint some of those companies, like that would be an option as well. Okay.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Love it.
I'm hearing dings. I'm not sure what that
Sorry,
means.
that was my computer.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Quiche, go ahead.
Oh, so I waved not knowing that, like, I didn't have my question ready, but I have a question. So, when you're looking for like the responses to the questions, how long do you think is too long, and like how long do you want like the answers to the questions to be?
Yeah, Quiche, there's a limit on the questions. I think that like no more than like a paragraph or 2 paragraphs.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so I think it's like a 200 word count. So they're not super long, but I think just being really intentional about your words is really what we're looking for. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Great. Any other questions out there?
I think maybe it might be good to mention, should we talk about some scenarios, not knowing how long the coronavirus, social distancing, quarantining is going to last, and how we're going to handle, we'll definitely be in communication, but what if we get to June 22nd and we're not clear to all meet in person? I mean, I would hate that would be the case, but I think we have to plan ahead. We don't really have a set strategy yet, but if there are ideas, we should really put some of them out there. How much will we be ready to do? Some online training could certainly happen, but we may also then just decide to postpone. So I don't know if you guys have talked internally yet about possibilities.
No, we're just living day by day out here.
Okay. Day by day right now, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it's far enough away that we're starting to already think about it just in terms of our own, PhillyCAM based work. So I would hope by then we do have some tools and ideas around what aspects of production can be done remotely, what kinds of resources are available, what do we need to create, what that could look like, but haven't done it yet.
Yeah, and I know that we did mention that we might end up doing, so after we go through the applications and we narrow down on a few candidates, then we would like to do a follow-up interview. And so it's likely that am I muted?
No, you're good.
No.
Yeah.
So it's likely that may be a video as well, a virtual interview.
Yeah, and Ariel, there's a question from Patrick on the chat because of coronavirus craziness, if the April 16th deadline can be postponed at all. Do you guys have a little wiggle room there?
I think we do. I mean, Laura and I can talk about that. Yeah. I think it's also to, again, like how soon do we want to, it's just all kind of up in the air, but I mean, I'd be willing to kind of postpone it maybe a week or two. Yeah. I can put that in the chat.
Great, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Wendy, I know there's a set amount of hours that need to be completed for training and the job site placement. So we could think about if that looks like we start later and there's actually more hours in the week as opposed to it being more spread out, if that has to happen.
Absolutely. I think I have a call next week with the state funders to just make sure that we're all that we have that wiggle room. I'm sure we do. And so I think the most important thing is just having clear communication once we have the cohort selected, and we'll be as flexible as we can with that. I don't see any problem with there already is that baked into the program. Folks can do pre-apprenticeship really however is serving them and their participants and their employers. So we'll be good to go. However we need.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there is, for me, just it does kind of excite me a little bit to think that, like, if we did kind of think about restructuring the program a little bit, if a lot of the media that students or candidates would be producing would be virtual, you know, so if we already are kind of dealing in this space and they have to create in this space as well, I think that could be really meaningful and a good tool for them to kind of to learn how to use on the go, you know.
Absolutely. I love that idea. And there's lots of good online training resources already. Sundance is offering some free classes. There's Adobe training online. And we'll definitely work together to help put something, you know, if we need it. I mean, ideally, everyone's in person at PhillyCAM, but we can be flexible. And Ariel, there's another question about the planned date for notification of acceptance into the program. Did you see that?
We were thinking May 8th, I think is what we said. And so again, that might get changed as well if we are adjusting the interviews and the final candidate decision, then that might get adjusted as well. Again, like, it's just, everything is kind of, you know, really up in the air. But we would definitely let you guys know.
Right. Yeah, it is a substantial time commitment. So, you know, it's not something you can do and do another summer program, and also thinking about what your plans are for the fall. So, you know, there's a question about that in the application, but it's really being kind of thoughtful about, are you juggling, what other work opportunities are you juggling, what other academic programs might you be juggling, or home responsibilities? And we're willing to work with you, you know, to sort of think about how the hours could be completed if you do have other commitments going on and it makes sense in terms of this being your primary focus. But we do want to let people know on the sooner side so they can be making alternative plans for the summer and fall. You know, so probably, yeah, we'll try to stick to that first week in May to notify folks.
Perfect.
Yeah, and just to add, like, this program is really fast tracking you into the creative workforce, which is really exciting. Like, I know me, for example, I'm a very niche field of youth media, but it took me a very long time to be able to find a full-time job making media and getting paid for doing the things that I like to do. And that's why I think that this program is so exciting, because it's like, you guys are gonna learn the skills and then you're gonna go right out with support, like, and be able to be doing the work that you've learned. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Great.
I love it. All right, good. Any other questions? All right. I want to take this opportunity to thank Rena for being here. Patrick, I hope that there was enough good communication that you felt you got everything that you needed to get. And we please do feel free to email after the fact as well.
Great. And you'll be hearing, did you have a question, Alex? Or
Yeah, I just had one last question. Sort of for smaller media or youth media organizations like Big Picture Alliance, like, what are ways that we can tap into this process and support? I don't know if, you know, in terms of work sites, I don't know what scale you're looking at, if it's, you know, something on the scale of PhillyCAM or something as large as Comcast, you know, or if it's everything in between.
It's everything. Yeah. In terms of work sites, we really want folks to get a sense of the range of possible jobs in the industry. And so let's have a conversation about, I would love to think about you guys as employers. If you wanted to, have a short-term hire, and who knows, maybe even a full-time at some point, depending on your workflow inside your space. That would be amazing, because not everyone's set up for like a big Hollywood studio or a huge post-production house where you're doing one thing all the time. The idea that you have, that you're creating content, and that there's a lot, I think, that could be possible there. So I'll get your contact from Laura and these guys, and let's talk about that. Would love it.
Yeah. Great.
Sure.
Wendy, just thanks for bringing this opportunity to us. We're super excited.
Oh my God, this is finally real. It's only taken us 1.5 years. It's so great. You guys, everyone who's on the call, thank you. I hope you apply, and I hope that we get a chance to work together very soon, and we get rid of this coronavirus so we can do it in person. All right, you guys, thanks again.
Yeah, thanks again. And just to close, so depending on how you found out about this, if you visit PhillyCAM.org, there's a post for Arts2Work, and you can get the link to the application, and we'll post a link to the recording and some supplemental documents as well. So.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you.
All right.
Talk to y'all soon.
Hold on, Patrick has something he wants to say.
Oh, okay, great.
He's typing it into chat real quickly.
Okay, great. Oh, can you email a list of people on this conference and their contact information? Or do you have it?
So if you RSVP'd via the PhillyCAM website, then we have everybody's contact information. If you found out about the call otherwise, you can email me or Ariel to kind of share your contact, or we'll share out the resources on the PhillyCAM website.
Great. Good. Yeah, Patrick, I'm really looking forward to hearing more about your work and your organization as well. Great. And what's BPA?
Big Picture Alliance.
Oh, that's okay. Got it. That's this group. I'm like, fantastic. Being dope is good. Yeah.
Cool. All right.
All right, fantastic. Thank you guys again.
Be safe. Bye.
Yeah, everybody be well.
Yes.
Wash your hands.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye.